the worst thing I've ever seen.
How did these guys pop on your radar?
764 Group is a Satanist cult group that focuses on extreme violence. One of the main things that they focus on is sextortion towards children. They believe that nothing matters. They extort children into cutting their wrists, engraving their names into their chests, their legs. They've had children commit suicide live on camera in front of audiences of people while they get cheered on. This is probably one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
What is 764? What is it?
So I'll tell you in my own words first. 764 Group is a Satanist cult group that
There's a lot of those,
on
ain't there?
extreme violence, and
How about that?
one of the main things that they focus on is sextortion towards children. They're labeled as a nihilist group, and for anyone that doesn't know what a nihilist is, it just means like they believe that nothing matters. No, like there's a group called it, but no lives matter. No human life matters. Nothing matters. That's what a nihilist is.
Hashtag
And
no lives
these
matter.
people have proved over and over again that they fit exactly the description that they're labeled as. And there are a ton of offshoots of this group, which I want to make it very clear that the main reason why they do a lot of the things that I'm about to show you is to get the recognition for it. There is to get the recognition individually, even if they're part of a group or a group that, you know, they just want their group out there in any way, whether it's negative or positive. This group isn't looking for positive attention. I'll just be candid about
fun.
it and tell you they extort children out of sexual material. They extort children into cutting their wrist.
Yeah, it's all just a game. They're bored. They're playing games. It's so fucked, man.
Themselves, cutting areas of their body, engraving their names into their chests, their legs, their arms, their faces. They've had children commit suicide live on camera in front of audiences of people while they get cheered on. They convince children to kill animals in their house, like their pet cats, their pet dogs. They try to
Dude, they make horror movies like this. Actually, this is worse than any horror movie that I've ever heard of. It makes me want to make a horror movie based on this, but it's not going to be as bad as the real thing, I think.
Them to kill their family members, commit mass murders, bestiality, incest, you name it. A lot of it has already been done, and I
think a lot of the tactics that are used in this 764 group are used by the people who got people to commit violent acts, say against Charlie Kirk or Donald Trump.
A lot of examples of that to show you today, and that is only with 2 of these groups that we've been doing passive reconnaissance on for a short period of time. There is plenty of other active investigations that are going on with other organizations and that I may or may not have involvement in. But what I can show you today is based on what Sentinel and I have found in a relatively short period of time, and it's going to blow your mind. It's absolutely disgusting, and there's more to it. But it was created by it was unbelievable. But a 15-year-old boy started this group in Texas.
That's about how it goes, right?
15-year-old boy.
15-year-old boy.
That's how it goes with these like online groups. It used to be like these weird hacker groups, but now it's just these violent satanic cult groups.
Boy started the group. He was the beginning of it, and he, from what I read, was a nonverbal kid that had some issues. I don't want to glorify this kid or talk about him in any way where anyone would feel bad for him, because he created something that is the worst thing next to all the other things that we've talked about. This is probably one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I'd say this is almost as bad as elite pedophiles doing satanic rituals and like dismembering children. I think it's on that level, but it's just the fact that it's not elites, maybe, that we know of.
And we'll see how you feel about it when you see it. But it was all started from this kid, and there's something called I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it's called the Calm. And the Calm is a collection of mostly teenagers, but there's adults in there as well that
usually how that goes.
Congregate on the internet. The Calm is short for the community, and they congregate on the internet, and they dox, meaning like release personal information on people. They SWAT, meaning they send SWAT teams to people's houses just to, scare them and to get recordings of them being swatted so they can use it to brag. Like for example, they'll call in to a local department and say, hey, my name is John Doe. I have bombs strapped to the windows. I have my family strapped to the chairs. I'm going to shoot them all if any police enter the door. They're going to say all these horrible things so that a SWAT team, responds. And that's what swatting is. I've personally been swatted 3 times, 2 of which
even I've been swatted, but it wasn't by anybody online. It was by my own mother.
Police actually showed up, and it was a big deal. I had a video of one of them, but I never gave them the recognition that it happened. There was no proof that it happened other than my recordings of it that I saved on my.
Because if you make them think that it's working, that it's freaking you out, then it's going to get worse.
Phone. I didn't want to give them the credit, So that's the comm. The 764 group actually came from the comm, and that doesn't mean all of the people in the comm have their own problems. They do their own stupid stuff. They've been torturing me since I was on your show 3 years ago, releasing my credit report, my personal information, sending pizzas to my houses, USPS boxes to my houses, on pretty much thousands of boxes. No, literally thousands.
Sending what to your house?
USPS boxes.
Why?
Because they're free. You can order them on the USPS site, and they'll just keep sending pallet after pallet after pallet of these boxes. It's just to be annoying.
What the fuck?
They do it to be annoying and to get a reaction out of it.
Send me some boxes.
That's the comm, and a lot of them don't like me, and that's I'll keep the comm pretty short because they're a whole different topic. But
the comm. How you spell that?
Usually just annoying. I wouldn't say that they're hackers. I would say they're more annoying, and they have technical abilities. Getting information on people, the way that they mostly do it is they like to use the term TLO, which TLO is just something TransUnion offers to run a report on somebody. And they'll use a stolen private investigator's account to run somebody's name, get their social credit report, and all of the above. And if they don't have access to one, they'll pay $15 to someone that does. And that's how they got my information, which I don't care. I genuinely don't. My credit's frozen. My address is out there publicly. There's nothing about me that they're going to find that isn't already out there. It doesn't matter to me. You can dox me all you want. You could try to swat me, but I know all the police all around my area. They're fully aware that people are going to try swatting me and have continued to try to swat me. I'm not really worried about them. It's more so the 764 group that stemmed from the comm, which is a whole different set of evil that I've never seen, where they want to they want to sextort children. And sextortion, usually for the people out there that are not familiar with that term, sextortion is when somebody sends naked photos, could be an adult or a child, and the second that those photos are sent, they say, if you don't send me X amount of dollars, I'm going to send this to your family, your friends, your school, your loved ones, and they try to extort them out of funds. Most of those sextorters, not that it's okay by any means, but most of them are just trying to make money. They're not trying to do anything evil. And 9 times out of 10, they're never going to send that to anybody. Because they're never going to get paid if they do, evil. Number one. And number two, they're if there was a child that they have nude images of, they would be distributing CSAM, child sexual abuse material. So, it happened. The reason why I say that is I have a family member, it's very close to me, that it happened to. He sent stupid pics.
I have a friend that happened to her kid, but retardedly, she went back to letting her play Roblox. And I was just like, oh, well, what the fuck can I do?
He was an underage boy, and I won't say his name, obviously, but I had to coach him through how to deal with these people, and they wanted money. They didn't want any of this other evil stuff. And I got them to click a link, the scammers. I found out that they were in, a foreign country that was, I believe it was Nigeria. It was a couple years ago, but I think it was Nigerian scammers. And I told them, just ignore them. Just don't say anything to them. Ignore them. I know it's hard.
I'd fuck with them. If it was me getting in touch with some scammers or scammers trying to get in touch with me at that age, I would 1000% fuck with them.
No, you probably feel like they're gonna ruin your life, but they have no benefit in sending your photos to anybody.
I wouldn't have gave a fuck because that already had happened to me multiple times at that point. So like I was just, you know.
And they didn't. That doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. It just didn't happen to him, and most of the time, why would they? It's wrong, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm not trying to make it sound okay, but in comparison to what these sextorters do, it's not even comparable, man.
I remember you telling me about these guys the last time we met in Florida.
Yeah.
How bad this shit is.
Yeah, I've been working
Me and my brother got in trouble for showing people our ass on, what was it, Omegle? Yeah.
on this for a long time. And with Sentinels,
Oh, we weren't just showing our asses, but that's what we got in trouble for.
it's been a few months, but I've been working on it for a long time. So it is.
How did these guys pop on your radar?
So I was a federal agent actually gave me a heads up about them, and from there I never heard of them at that point, and I started digging in, just reading the public stuff out there, and it blew my mind. It was like the clearest definition of, evil. Like I keep saying the word, but it is just pure evil, and that's what they want. That's what they're going for. But it's just hard to believe that people out there exist that are even worse, or if not the same level of evil as the other people that I'm fighting against. And a lot of them are teenagers and young 20-somethings, but there's the random 30, 40-plus-year-olds that are involved in this as well, that they just want to cause harm. They want to cause...
And they're gonna get caught out the more people catch on to this shit, because there's some gray hat hackers, not white hat hackers, not black hat, gray hat hackers, who will take you the fuck down. They will enjoy it. They will laugh at you while they take you down, and they do it for a good cause. They're not doing it for evil, but it's gonna seem like they're evil as they're doing it, but they're doing it to evil people, so I don't give a fuck. It's like Deadpool.
It's destruction, and what is the next level? It's it starts with, and I'll get into some of the terminology, but they call it cut signs, or I've heard in some of the groups, cut sluts is what they'll call the little girls, where they cut a username into their arm or their breasts or their legs or whatever part of their body. And it started with that, and then it was, okay, what's the next step? Kill the animals, and then hold up a username on a piece of paper, and then hold the dead animal in the other hand. And like that group will then send that message everywhere, and then the person thinks by doing that, the child thinks by doing that they're going to stop, they're going to leave them alone. And what ends up happening is they know that victim's just going to keep doing whatever they ask, because they've already done it, and now they're in possession of the news, and these people will send it to your family and friends. And it's just unbelievable. There's more to it, but I want to show you some of the content and some of the questions that I'm sure you're going to have. I can answer.
And by the way, I've got a story for that too. Somebody receiving nudes that were sent around. I've got a story for all of this shit, because it happens so often, and it's always from these same places. It's usually Roblox. So there was nude pictures of a kid that was going to my church that was circulating around, and it got up to my not the pastor, what is it called? The guy underneath the pastor. He was basically running the worship service. Well, it got around to that guy. It made it to his phone, and it wasn't that a kid was circulating it around. Somebody was sending it to all of the people that kid knew, and somehow knew who that kid knew, where that kid was going to church. It was fucking crazy. That kid basically just had to move. Like that was it, because everybody knew.
And I want to. There's just so much to this that I could go on like an hour tangent trying to explain it.